All right, so we're already in year 5, so I want to go just take a little flashback back to year 1 and year 2, and then I'm eventually going to do this for year 3 and year 4 and just look at the top 5 operators from those given years. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to hop right into it. No BS. Year 1 and year 2. So I'm going to go over the top operator. I'm going to go over all the operators first and just name them off just so we know what we're working with here, because I know a lot of people don't just remember that. So we have Buck Frost for the first ever DLC, Blackbeard Valk, Capiteo Caviera, Habana Echo, Jackal, Mira, Ying, Lesion, Zofia, Ella, Dokkaebi, and Vigil. So out of all 16 of those, I'm going to pick 5 of them. And if you guys enjoy this and want one for year 3, year 4, I just don't want to run you guys out with these top 5s. I just know people like to know what to pick, and it's more for newer players, or the more advanced players like to, you know, critique it and pick their own top 5s, and that's cool too. Totally would like to see those in the comments. Just remember, keep it chill. I don't want everyone fighting over it. It doesn't matter that much. So with that out of the way, I'm going to get into my number 5, not particularly in a specific order, but I mean, I guess I'm kind of saying them in order, so you can take them however you want to. So this one, I'm going to go with Buck as number 5. He is one of the first, I guess he is a part of the first operators that ever came out as a DLC. And unfortunately, the map that came with him is Yacht, but he is so versatile and he is still used quite a lot now. The ability with the vertical play is just insane with Buck. I mean, you can go under the sight, get Miras, whatever you decide to do with him. Guns, you know, recoils up there, but good players know how to control it. They have frag grenades and of course the skeleton key shotgun, which is very good at destroying soft surfaces. While he does have a marksman rifle, the CAMRS, he also has the assault rifle, which is the CASFW, which is the gun to use if you're going to be using Buck. The recoil is pretty ridiculous, but you just put a muzzle brake on it and just aim for heads, and that's what you get out of it. You get a bunch of kills, and it's really a fragging type operator with also good use. So I'd pick him any day over like an Ash or something like that. They have the same basic use with the soft walls, so I would pick Buck over that any day. Just recoil control is all you got to worry about. Some of these were actually quite tough, so I'm gonna go into my second one, which was probably an easier one. I'm basically basing this off of usability and operators that should be used more and aren't just like troll operators. So I mean, one that's might be questionable that's not on this list is Lesion, but with the nerf, I just don't take him into the top 5 according to the operators I put in here. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, but let's get into my next one, number 4, which is Valkyrie. She's a 2-speed, 2 armor, but more importantly, she has those cams that are absolutely deadly and basically have no counter besides IQ or someone with just good eyes. As long as you're not on them, it's just a black camera you put anywhere. You put them in the shadows, you put them in outside in trees or whatever, and they're invisible. And it's an intel game now, so really it makes sense to always have a Valkyrie on your team, assuming she's not banned, which she gets banned sometimes because everyone knows the power of the run out. Those cams have so much run out potential, and I mean, you're always being watched. That's the problem. And whenever there's a Valk on the team, you just feel like someone's watching you at all times, and it really creates a tough playing environment just looking for cams, and it really could get you off guard. So the weapon choice is the MPX or the Spaz 12 shotgun. Obviously the MPX is the move in most cases, unless if you have a real reason for a shotgun there, and you only have one chance with the D50 handgun, which is an absolute cannon, the Deagle there. And of course you're going to want to be rocking a C4 as the cams. You can also really play them with C4s. It's just a really good operator and might even be in my top 5 of all operators in the game just because of that intel that she provides. So hopefully no one disagrees with this choice of putting Valk in the top 5 for the year 1 and year 2 ops. So next 2 are quite similar. I have Habana here at number 3, I believe is what we are at, and we got her introduced in the last season of year 1 alongside Echo. Out of all year 1 operator groupings like Buck Frost, Blackbeard Valk, Capiteo Cav, Habana Echo, they're the only 2 that are both actually like good, is what I would say, top tier operators. I mean, Buck's top tier, Valk is pretty top tier, Capiteo is good, pro league good, can be good situationally, while Cav is, you know, not so good and a lower ranked type operator, while Habana and Echo are used in the higher ranks, and they both are used. So it shows how good they did on those, and they're really just setting the meta even 5 years down the road. The reason for Habana is pretty self-explanatory. She's a hard breacher, one of the only ones. We We of course have Maverick and Thermite as well, but Habana is fast. She's a 3 speed and actually opens up a real hole, unlike Maverick. That's why I prefer Habana over Maverick personally. And she's a 3 speed. She has an angled grip, so she can really be a rusher if you choose to play like that. But personally, I think she's meant to play obviously a little slower, as she is a hard breacher, so you get the hatches or whatever. Probably the best operator to get hatches, because you don't actually have to sit on it with your Thermite or create the whole Maverick hole. So I think she's the best operator for getting hatches. And just like any of these operators, you know, get used to recoil and you become really good with the operator. This operator has not too bad of recoil, just some slight pull down that you're gonna have to do. For the most part, the horizontal recoils pretty well, and everyone basically should have Habana. And the other one, I don't know, these aren't really in specific order, these other two here, but it's Echo, which is Habana's partner that came in at the end of year 1. Echo has those yokai drones and they're absolutely lethal, and there's a reason why he's banned like literally 80% of the time. He has that silence MP5, which they call the MP5 SD, also has a shotgun with the Supernova, obviously use the MP5 SD, and then has the machine pistol with the bearing 9. Both of the recoils aren't the best, but it makes up for it with the yokai drones, and it's the real reason why it's banned. It's probably one of the best anchors in the game, maybe the best anchor in the game. And they're just trying to figure out how to really balance it. I mean, the distortion is pretty lethal. It reminds me of like Ella's distortion, really hardcore distortion, and gets the plants off if you use it at the correct time. So I don't know, if I were Rainbow, I'd probably make it so he only has one yokai drone. Then it's really more strategy and less so where you can have one on each bomb site and just sit in a corner the whole game and wait for bomb defuse. That's why people ban him, really. So I think that it was the best way to go about it. Just have one, and I mean, if you shoot it, you shoot it, and maybe go play from there, because I think he'd be played way less and get banned basically never if you only had one. Now, for the last one, there was a lot of operators that I just couldn't put on the list. I can only pick 5. So, I mean, there's Jackal, obviously one of the best roam clears in the game. Probably the best roam clear in the game, alongside like Lion. Working those two together, they're OP. Visual's good. Dokubi's pretty decent. Ella, I don't know. And then, of course, Lesion. So, year 2 brought a lot of good operators, but I have to pick Mira here. And it's solely based off of meta, really. I mean, obviously, the Vector got a little bit of a buff. It's a little bit better now, and that's awesome, obviously. And then what really counters a Mira? Obviously vertical play with like Buck and stuff does, but truly the only thing that can get it is either your gun if you shoot it, or a Twitch drone, and not many players play Twitch. So that's really the reason why I would put her in the list instead of some other operators here. Before this season, I think I would put Lesion over Mira here, just because it was just OP and we were in that trap phase because of him. We still kind of are, but it's been nerfed a little bit, and I think I prefer the Miras now. There's just so much strategy with it, and I prefer the strategy over anything else, really. The thing is you could really shift a whole offensive like push with a Mira. They see a Mira and they'll just completely rotate away, or have to, you know, waste a Thermite on it, or a Habana, whatever it is. They'll have to waste something on it instead of just having an easy push. So it could really affect around in multiple ways. Only thing I can think of really is like anything like Chalet. There's a lot on the basement if you were to do a Mira there, and basically every map has their Mira spots. Oregon has it with the Hatch Watch, and everywhere, every map has at least one spot where a Mira placement is actually good and viable. So that's my top 5 for the year 1 and year 2 operators. If you guys want to see year 3, year 4, let me know. Leave a like, leave a comment, leave anything, leave criticism, whatever you guys want to leave. Go ahead and do that down in the comments. I won't get offended, I promise. But before I close this out, I want to kind of go over the worst operators out of all these too. And I mean, year 1 had to take the cake for the worst operators in the game ever. So I mean, if we look at it, like some bad operators, Frost, not the best. Blackbeard, just a troll operator at this point. He's awful is what I say. I got a lot of hate for putting him so low on the tier list, but I mean, I gotta say, he's not that good, and any Blackbeard main really isn't that good. I've never seen a really good one in like Diamond or anything, obviously. Then of course, out of that, there is Caveira, who is just a lower ranked thing. I always see him when I'm playing my placement games when I'm a lower elo, but I just don't get it. Like, the gun only downs people. I mean, headshots barely count for anything in this game. It's just instant kill or no kill. I get the value of interrogations, but the likelihood of that compared to like just getting the kill, easy headshot, I prefer that more than getting the down, having to go through the interrogation, and having the chance of getting killed from the back. So anyways, those are what I would say is the worst operators from this, the top 3 worst as well. So there's a little bonus. Hopefully you guys enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next video.